In today's class, we are going to learn fluid dynamics. Now, all the previous topics that you have learned, okay, we have assumed that your liquid is at rest with respect to container, okay. So, in the entire fluid statics, okay, even though a container is moving, your liquid is at rest with respect to container, but overall your liquid is at rest with respect to the container in fluid statics. In fluid dynamics, okay, your liquid moves with respect to container. Indirectly we are talking of pipes, okay, we are referring to pipes, okay. Now this fluid dynamics topic, okay, so whether I do it in one lecture or two lectures, it doesn't matter, but ultimately this is one of the important areas and easiest areas where question is actually going to come, and your entire fluid dynamics part will consist of only two equations. One is equation of continuity and other one is your Bernoulli's equation or Bernoulli's principle, okay. You will be having only these two things, okay. So we will have only two things in this part, okay. So now before I try to apply equation of continuity and Bernoulli's equation, okay, so for what kind of fluids we are going to apply those two equations is what we are going to see. But remember, this fluid dynamics chapter target will be only two things you are supposed to learn, okay, to apply. First one is your equation of continuity, okay. What is this? I will explain, don't worry, but it is area times speed, A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, that is one equation, and second thing is Bernoulli's equation. Any problem that you give me within the limits of IIT JEE and NEET syllabus, I am going to use only these two equations, that is P plus rho GH plus half rho V square. This part is equal to constant, okay. So your target in fluid dynamics is you should be able to apply these two equations for ideal fluids, okay. So what is that ideal fluid? I will tell you now, okay. So now remember, this chapter target is this, and we are indirectly referring to fluid that is flowing through pipes. Now let us, okay, take small introduction, okay, it is not required, but for understanding sake, okay, I list few points, that's all. Now whenever a liquid is going through some kind of pipe like this, okay, let us say you have a pipe, and this side the area of cross section is A1, this side the area of cross section is A2, okay. Let us say you have a pipe and the fluid is moving inside this pipe. Now at this end, let us say the velocity is some V1, this end let us say some velocity is V2 at this point. Now when liquid is flowing, okay, when liquid is flowing like this in a pipe, okay, you will have terms like, okay, steady flow, okay. So theoretically, mathematically, I mean they don't have much significance, but I will list it, okay. So your liquid, okay, to apply these equations we will assume steady flow, okay. So in steady flow what will happen, I will tell you, okay. Normally when liquid is flowing, okay, so you will have path lines and streamlines, okay, path lines and streamlines, two things will be there, okay. What is the difference between these two? Okay, if time is present I will discuss, else for now, okay, just understand that path line means, okay, if you are leaving some particle here, solid particle here, okay, if you are assuming that liquid which is flowing kind of small solid objects, the path followed by this solid object is represented by path line. Okay, path line is indirectly referring to some kind of small solid object. Okay, small solid object, what path it takes, that is your path line. And coming to your streamlines, okay, your streamline is nothing but your, okay, path followed by this particles only, but that flow of the fluid is represented by streamlines like this. Okay, why and all I will talk about it later, but for now in ideal fluid we will consider streamline flow, and for streamline flow only we will talk of these two equations, that is equation of continuity and Bernoulli's equation. Now your steady flow, what it is, okay, at any point of the flow, okay, at any point, at a particular point, okay, I can write the definition like this: at a particular point, okay, if, that means if you take some point P here, okay, at a particular point, if pressure, velocity, density all are constant, then you can call such a flow to be steady flow. Okay, getting my point? What is meant by steady flow means, okay, in the fluid, okay, in the path of the fluid, if you take some point, at that particular point, okay, your pressure is supposed to be constant. You can keep constant pressure provided if you don't change the height. You can keep constant velocity under certain conditions that we will see next, but regarding density you should have same liquid. So a liquid is said to be in steady flow if at a particular point in that flow of the liquid, okay, your pressure, volume, density all will remain constant. Okay, such kind of flow you can call it as steady flow. Any flow other than this, okay, if this condition is not satisfied, you can call this flow to be unsteady flow. Okay, so we will consider steady flow. Okay, right. Next, your streamline, okay, your streamline is indirectly nothing but your path followed by the particles only. Okay, so now okay, we will define, okay, ideal fluid. Okay, ideal fluid. Why ideal fluid I will tell you, but our equations are valid for ideal fluid. Ideal fluid will undergo steady flow. Okay, ideal fluid will undergo steady flow. That means your pressure, volume, density will remain constant, and it is non-viscous. Non-viscous in the sense, okay, there is no friction between layers of fluid. Okay, no friction between layers of fluid. Okay, there is no friction between layers of fluid. Okay, so that is your non-viscous liquid. Okay, right. Next, you have to also consider, okay, right, next, non-compressible, I mean incompressible fluid. Okay, incompressible means, okay, incompressible means indirectly your density is not going to change. Your density is mass by volume. Okay, mass anyhow it will remain constant, right? So incompressible will signify that your density is indirectly constant, because when you compress, volume will change. So when volume changes, mass anyhow cannot change, so that is why your density will change if that is the case. So but we are not going to consider incompressible, I mean compressible fluids. We are considering incompressible fluid. Okay, so incompressible fluid density will remain constant. Okay, so because of incompressibility, what will happen? If 1 liter of liquid enters into the tube, 1 liter must come out. Okay, it's not like 1 liter, if it is entering, some 800 ml is coming out, then it is compressible, right? So how much is entering, that much should leave. For that we have equation of continuity, we will see in detail later, but understand that there is steady flow, there is non-viscous thing. Okay, non-viscous means there is no friction between the layers of fluid. Next, it is undergoing streamline flow as well. Okay, it is undergoing streamline flow. Okay, streamline flow means, okay, What is the streamline flow means? If some particle that is entering, first particle entering out of, from this end, if it is coming with some 10 meters per second, and when it comes here it is some 15 meters per second or some, okay, when area is small velocity is more, when velocity is increasing it will decrease, it cannot be 15, logically speaking it will decrease if area increases. Let us say it is 9. Next, at this point if it is coming out with 8 meters per second, so any particle that is coming through this, okay, first particle if it is having 10, second particle, third particle, any particle along the length velocity could change, but whatever particle that is entering at this particular point it must have constant velocity, okay. So that is your streamline property, okay, right. And there is no rotational effect, okay. You should not consider any rotation, okay, no rotational effect or no rotation, okay. That means if you are leaving some kind of ball in this fluid, this ball cannot rotate, because if it is rotating, some portion of energy will be converted to rotational kinetic energy, which is not what we are going to consider here, okay, right. So there is only V, okay, no rotational effect, only V, linear velocity, no angular velocity, no omega, okay. So if a liquid is satisfying all these conditions, then you can call that liquid to be ideal fluid, and for this ideal fluid only we will be applying your equation of continuity and Bernoulli's equation, okay, right. So copy this stuff down. Okay, turbulent flow, that flow, this flow, okay, anything, I mean turbulent means it will wobble, so like how you have aeroplane turbulence, okay, some kind of dribbling, so that and all it is required only for theory part, not for problems, okay. But remember, these two equations are valid for ideal fluid will have these properties, okay. So I am not teaching for board exam, of course it is there in the board, but my focus is only on the entrance exam, so that is why I am not going to touch this in detail, okay. Each definition, why it is that I am not giving now, okay. I will just concentrate on the problems part, okay. So you should not waste your time in the conceptual part, you should spend more time in solving problems. So now all right, now here, okay, your equation of continuity, if you take, okay, I told you in this chapter we are going to learn only two things, one is equation of continuity and other is Bernoulli's equation. So any problem that you give me, I will use only these two equations, okay. Now what will this equation of continuity explain? I will tell you. Now, okay, if you talk of meaning, okay, your equation of continuity, what it says is amount of liquid entering per second is equal to amount of liquid leaving per second, okay. Logically this is the meaning, how much liquid enters into some pipe, okay. So if you take some kind of pipe like this, okay, so into this pipe, okay, how much liquid enters in 1 second, okay, how much liquid enters, that much amount of liquid must leave, okay. That is what your equation of continuity will explain. Now let us look at the logical aspect of it, okay. Now here if I take a small portion, okay, close to this, but I cannot make the diagram clumsy. So now here if you take this, I mean some liquid here, so if dx enters, okay, if your incompressible fluid is entering, Okay, what happens if m mass, okay, dm by dt is rate at which mass is entering, okay, then your dm out by dt should be the mass leaving. Okay, so per unit time how much mass of liquid enters, that much will leave if you are considering in terms of mass. In terms of volume, if you take, okay, why did I do this, I will tell you. So volume in okay, rate of volume, how much in dt time, if d volume enters, okay, then d volume in enters, d volume out will leave. Okay, hope you are getting my point. Okay, in dt time how much volume enters, that much volume will leave. Okay, or how much mass enters, that much will leave. Okay, so that is the significance indirectly. But now if you take mass, what is mass? Volume into density. So it is volume into density by dt. This is equal to d by dt of, okay, this v is volume, okay, so this is v out into rho by dt. So indirectly, if rho is constant, if you are using same liquid, if you are considering ideal fluid, if different liquids are there, mass entering, okay, this relation will work for different liquids. Okay, this relation will work for different liquids, and for particular liquid density anyhow it is remaining constant. So this relation for particular liquid, how much enters, that much will leave. Okay, because we are considering incompressible fluid. Okay, so incompressibility means how much is entering, that much should leave. Now, okay, this expression, okay, it is derivative of volume with respect to time. Okay, so d by dt means rate. Okay, you are writing acceleration as rate of change of velocity, displacement as, velocity as rate of change of displacement d by dt. Similarly, your rate of volume entering is equal to rate of volume leaving. At what rate? That means indirectly in time dt, d volume in enters, in time dt, d volume out leaves. Okay, now here okay, that volume rate is what we are supposed to calculate. Now in time dt, if dx element of liquid enters, okay, let us say area of cross section is A, somewhere here A is there, this is dx. Okay, let us say area here is A1, volume here is V1, area here is A2, volume is V2. Now let us consider dx element here. Now if small volume dV enters, okay, if dV enters in time dt, okay, then your dV is indirectly A times dx. Small volume is area of cross section into dx. Getting my point? Right? dV, small volume is entering. So each dV element, if it is entering, okay, small volume dV is entering, small volume dV will leave. So what is that I am doing? I am taking that small volume. If dV is entering in time dt, small volume dV is what? Okay, area of cross section into height. So this area of cross section that you take here, if it is d, okay, so your area into dx is your small volume dV. Okay, right? So your dV by dt, indirectly this is derivative of volume with respect to time, that is equal to A times dx by dt. Okay, now this is displacement by time, it is nothing but your velocity or speed. So that means your derivative of volume with respect to time is area of cross section times speed. This is speed. Okay, this is speed, this is volume. Okay, so your volume rate is area of cross section into speed. Now what will your equation of continuity says is, your final conclusion is, okay, your final conclusion is your A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. That is, okay, your area of cross section at this end if it is A1, speed here if it is V1, area of cross section if it is here it is A2, and if speed is V2, okay, For an ideal fluid, okay, ideal fluid that is incompressible, no friction, no rotational effect, if you take, your A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, okay. For that, what is the proof means? This is the proof, okay. So BPC people, those who are watching, if you do not follow something, understand this relation, okay. This is your first formula, this is your second formula, okay. Just remember these two results, okay. There is nothing much to not to understand here, it is easy only, okay. So your rate of change of volume with respect to time is area into speed, okay. A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, okay. So this is what your equation of continuity says, okay. Your volume rate is going to remain constant, okay. Derivative of volume with respect to time, this is supposed to be constant, okay. So how much entering, that much will leave, okay. Now based on this, okay, we'll do some simple questions, okay. So let me erase this and give a simple question on this, okay. So your equation of continuity is one of the easy questions, okay. So don't worry, very simple, we will be using this again and again. So first let us try to do some simple questions. Now you will be asked logical questions like this, okay. Your example or question 1 you can take. Let us say you have some tube, okay. The tube is not in the air like this, okay. It is like this in the same height, okay. Getting my point? Your tube is not on the height like this. One end is at lower height and other end is at higher height. You need a Bernoulli's equation to decide, okay. But I am not considering this case. I am considering a tube on the table, okay. There is a tube on the table. The tube, it is on the table, okay, and you are watching from the top, okay. So you have a table like this. On this or some pipe, on this there is a pipe, okay, right. Now here liquid is entering, here the area is A1, speed is V1, here the area is A2, speed is V2. Now they will ask you, if A1 is greater than A2, is V1 greater than V2, okay, something like that they will ask simple questions. So if height is changing, we need Bernoulli's equation. If not, you can directly give the answer, okay. So if, because we know that from equation of continuity, A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, right. So if A1 by A2 is equal to, from here it is V2 by V1. So A1 greater than A2, you have to take the answer as V2 greater than V1. A1 less than A2, then V1 less than V2, okay. Sorry, yeah, V2 is less than V1, okay. So my point is, obviously if you take, while washing the car or bike, what will we do? We will press the pipe, okay. Indirectly what is that we are doing? You are decreasing the area of cross section. If you decrease the area of cross section, what will happen? Your velocity will increase. Getting my point? So that is why we will do that, okay. So decreasing area, because your A into V is supposed to be constant, okay. So if you decrease A, V will increase, okay. So this is the principle, I mean which we will use. So that is why we actually press the entrance of where we are where the water is coming out, we will press it so that it comes fast, okay. So like this they will ask you simple questions, you will be able to do it, okay. Next, for understanding sake, okay, one more question. Let us say there is a tap, okay. Now this tap is having area of cross section of 50 centimeter square area, and this tap is on some building, okay, rain is falling and there is no pipe till the ground. Let us say it is some kind of outlet and rain is falling like this. Okay, it's raining. Now water is on the ground. Let us say it is on some 5 meters height. Okay, now rain after falling, it strikes the top of that building and somehow it is coming out of this hole with some V1 equal to, let us say it is 10 meters per second speed. Okay, now what happens? This flow will have, okay, right, this building you keep it little aside. So what is your question is, by the time water reaches to the bottom, okay, what is the area across which it strikes the ground, or by the time it reaches the ground, okay, just before reaching the ground, what is this area of cross section? Okay, this area of cross section is equal to how much? Okay, and with what velocity it will strike? Okay, give me the values of V2 and A2. Okay, so now here what happens is, now as this keeps going downwards, as the fluid flow keeps going downwards, what will happen? Your velocity will increase. Okay, because your water initially it is having kinetic energy as well as potential energy, water molecules. As this keeps coming down, okay, your kinetic energy will increase. So if kinetic energy is increasing, automatically speed will increase. So as I have discussed, if V increases, A decreases. If V decreases, A will increase. So if you look at the tap also, okay, observe in the bathroom when you are, okay, observing, okay, from the tap when water is coming out, okay, the flow area of cross section will decrease. Okay, so now here what will happen if you apply equation of continuity? To apply equation of continuity, I mean to get the area of cross section, one thing that we need is, okay, A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2, because this is kind of ideal fluid. So you have to apply equation of continuity. Now here you have two unknowns. Okay, A1 is known, it is 50 centimeter square, means it is 50 into 10 power minus 4. V1 is how much, means 10, 5. But this side you don't have A2, you don't have V2. Okay, so now we need to calculate V2. Okay, it's not like you should directly, I mean you should give the answer. So first we need to calculate V2. Now how will we calculate V2? This water flow is moving under gravity. So you can apply V square minus U square is equal to 2AS 2 times A bar dot S bar. So if acceleration and displacement both are in same direction, angle between these two is 0. So you can substitute plus 2AS. So when the water is coming downwards, gravity also will act downwards only. Your displacement, this is your initial position, this is your final position, that is also downwards. So your final velocity V2 square minus initial velocity, that is 10 square 100, that is equal to 2 times acceleration due to gravity is G is 10, S is how much? 5. So it is 100 plus 100, V2 square is 200. So V2 is 10 root 2. So you are going to get the value of V2. Now once you get the value of V2, you will substitute in this equation 10 root 2. So give the value of area of cross section A2. Okay. So I mean eventually what will happen, a big mark will be formed, okay, on the ground. Okay. So this much is the area of cross section of that mark that you will have. Okay. Right. Or they can say this is tap. I have used the word building. They will say tap, from a tap water is leaking. They will ask you simple questions. You can do it. Okay, right? Now next, your next thing is, okay, you will have junction of pipes. Okay, so hope you have understood this. I will erase this. Okay. Next, one more problem they will ask is, okay, So it is similar to current electricity Kirchhoff's first law. In 10th class you must have studied, but still for formality sake we will do this as well. So now you will have questions like this. There is a pipe, attached to this there is another pipe, from this there is a junction. Okay, now from this end water is entering A1, velocity here is V1. From this end area is A2, velocity here is P2. Okay, this end area is A3. They will give you all the values. They will ask V3 is equal to dash. Okay, so fluid is entering. Now obviously if you take this junction region, okay, what will happen? According to equation of continuity, volume entering from this end plus volume entering from this end should be equal to volume leaving. So that is derivative of volume through pipe 1 with respect to time plus derivative of volume 2, that is volume rate through second, is equal to volume leaving. If there are more pipes, you add that too also. Okay, so your volume entering through this pipe plus volume entering through this is equal to volume leaving. Okay, so your rate volume entering in 1 second is equal to volume leaving in 1 second. Okay, dt if you take 1, volume entering is equal to volume leaving. So that will give you A1 V1 plus A2 V2 is equal to A3 V3. From here your V3 is A1 V1 plus A2 V2 by A3. Okay, so like this they will give you, but stick to the basics. Your equation of continuity, volume entering is equal to volume leaving. Okay, so like this they will ask simple questions. You will be able to do it. This is your equation of continuity. Okay, now much more important points are not required. How much I am teaching, that is more than enough in this equation of continuity part. Okay, so let's not waste time, let's move ahead further. Okay, now here next is your Bernoulli's equation. Okay, your next part is your next part is your Bernoulli's equation. Okay, now here first proof I will discuss. Okay, if time is there, if not I will explain, don't worry. If there is a pipe from ground, okay, it is basically nothing but your conservation of mass. Previously it was conservation of mass or volume, it is conservation of energy. Okay, your Bernoulli's equation is a consequence of indirectly conservation of energy. So now here if you take, okay, this kind of height, okay, from ground, this end if it is at h1, this end if it is at height h2, okay, at this end if pressure is P1, speed here is V1, pressure is, speed here is V2, pressure is P2. Okay, what it says is, okay, P plus rho g h plus half rho v square is equal to constant. Okay, so what is its meaning, I will elaborate, don't worry. Okay, right, this P is pressure, rho is density, g is acceleration due to gravity, h is height from the ground, okay, and v is the speed. Okay, so now here P is called as pressure head. P is called as pressure head or pressure energy per unit volume. Okay, pressure energy per unit volume. Don't worry, I will derive each term. Okay, and rho g h is, okay, potential energy head. Okay, rho g h is potential energy head or potential energy per unit volume. Okay, potential energy per unit volume. Okay, right. Next, your half rho v square is called as kinetic energy head or kinetic energy per unit volume. Kinetic energy per unit volume. Okay. Now, how did you get this? I will tell you. Don't worry. If you take potential energy as mgh, okay, mgh by volume, potential energy by volume, mass by volume is what? Density. Density is mass by volume. So that is why it is rho gh. If you take kinetic energy by volume, okay, then it is half m v square by volume. Mass by volume is once again density. So you are going to get half rho v square. Okay. So rho gh is potential energy per unit volume. Half rho v square is kinetic energy per unit volume. Okay. Right. Hope you have understood. Okay. So it is your pressure head plus, okay, potential energy head plus kinetic energy head is constant. So in this scenario, if you apply P1 plus rho 1 g h1 plus half rho v1 square at this point, if you are taking this as 0.1, this as 0.2, this must be equal to P2 plus rho 2g h2 plus half rho v2 square. Okay. So your time will get wasted if I discuss too much on this proof, but for now understand that, okay, we are going to use Bernoulli's equation when ideal fluid is flowing in pipes, and for that Bernoulli's equation, what is the expression means? Your pressure head plus potential energy head plus kinetic energy head is equal to constant. So between, you have to select two particular points and you have to apply Bernoulli's equation. Okay, proof I will give you, don't worry. Okay, it is consequence of conservation of energy. Okay, so if you want to prove, I can give it in a simple way. Those who want to copy this, you can copy. Okay, so now if you are looking for proof, okay, if I try to apply energy conservation theorem here, okay, if you consider a liquid flowing, okay, I mean if you are considering some liquid here, okay, what will happen is, if some liquid is entering into the pipe, okay, now your change in internal energy, okay, your change in energy delta U, potential energy, if you take your potential energy, you can write it as small mass m into g into h2 minus h1, you can write it. This is your change in potential energy. Okay, right. Next, if you take change in kinetic energy for this small mass, okay, I am taking small mass as dm. Change in kinetic energy is half of dm into v2 square minus v1 square for the fluid particle. When it is entering from this end to this end, your change in kinetic energy is this much. Okay. Now next, your work done by liquid, if you take, your work done is what? Pressure into change in volume. Okay, it is P into delta V. Okay, right. So which is nothing but your pressure difference. I mean, because of the pressure difference only work is being done. So it is P1 minus P2 into, okay, delta V. Okay, so work done, thermodynamics. Okay, work is, I mean, you can write it as your work done, it is integral of P dV. If pressure is constant, we will write P times integral dV, which is P times delta V. Like this we will write, but for small volume you can write it like this. Okay, so that is why I have told you proof is lengthy, but I will just try to keep it in a simple way. Now, okay, your work done by all forces is equal to change in kinetic energy, or energy conservation if you apply, work done by non-conservative forces is equal to delta U plus delta K. So apply that, P1 minus P2 into delta V is equal to, you can apply that dm mass, you can take it into G into H2 minus H1, dm by dV you can write it as density. Okay, so this is delta M, you take delta M by delta V, you can replace it with density, plus this expression if you take, you will get P1 plus rho GH plus rho 1 G1 plus half rho V1 square is equal to P2 plus, like this you will get it. Okay, you can simplify it here. Okay, so that only you are supposed to do. Okay, so I mean, I don't know, people will get confused, so I will write these steps. What is there here? P1 minus P2 into dV I will write instead of delta V. Okay, for small displacements I will take dV, that is equal to, because I have taken dm here, so dm into G into H2 minus H1 plus dm into, I mean half of dm into V2 square minus V1 square. So dV you bring it to this side, P1 minus P2 is rho times G into dm minus dm by dV is density. Okay, mass by volume is density, H2 minus H1 plus dm by dV is half rho V2 square minus V1 square. Rearrange this equation, you will get P plus rho GH plus half rho V square is equal to constant. Okay, so P plus rho GH plus half rho V square is constant from this equation. Okay, I don't need to elaborate, but this energy conservation theorem is what is happening. Remember this result. Okay, proof nobody is going to ask you. Okay, that is for BSc and MSc people. Okay, so you have to consider small elemental strip, then you have to give the proof. It is lengthy, not required. Okay, you will get confused. Okay, remember the end result, that's all. Okay, so now because you know the Bernoulli's equation, now based on this also we will start doing the questions. Now okay, I told you in this chapter whatever we are doing, we are ultimately going to use two equations. One is equation of continuity and other one is Bernoulli's equation.